The poster with the enormous face gazed from the wall. It was one of those pictures which are so contrived that the eyes follow you about when you move. Big Brother is watching you. The caption beneath it ran. So good. Love this book. You know, if you were to ask me, Alex, what are your top 5 books of all time? This would be on the list every time you ask me, regardless of the decade that we're in. So it's an excellent one. And what is it? 1984 by George Orwell. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So let me put this down. Hey everyone, I'm Alex. Thanks for clicking and welcome to this lesson on Learning English with 1984 by George Orwell. Now, as I said, this is one of my personal favorite books of all time. I read it in my early 20s. It had a large impact on my political consciousness, my political awareness, as it explores issues of authoritarian governments, surveillance states, the control of thought, and a lot of very different aspects that were really appealing to me and which opened my eyes, or like Neo in the Matrix, just made me say, whoa. Okay, so maybe it can do the same for you if you have never read it. If you do want to read the book, there is an audiobook that you can pick up. And if you want, right now, you can get it for free from audible.com by clicking the link which is attached to this video. So the beautiful thing about audiobooks, especially for English learners, is that you can control the speed of speech. So if it's too fast for you, you can slow it down and listen a little bit better. It's an excellent book, highly recommended. Also, probably only get it if you are an upper intermediate student. If you are not, browse the library in Audible. They have a massive catalog, a massive collection, and I'm sure you'll find something that you like. So once again, click the link that is attached to this video and get your free audiobook today. It is a 30-day trial. If you don't want to continue after 30 days, you can cancel it and you get to keep your free audiobook. You can't lose. It's a great deal. All right, so 1984. Today, what I'm going to do is look at some of the most popular concepts from the book which have bled into our society. Now, when I say things have bled into our society, it means some of this language is used within society, within our culture today. So you might or probably are already familiar with the term Big Brother. So in the book, Big Brother is an authoritarian dictator, an authoritarian figure, and an authoritarian leader of a single-minded surveillance state. So a surveillance state is a state that is always watching you, judging you, making sure that you are not doing anything that is improper or against the state, or saying or even thinking something that is opposite to the party's ideals. So Big Brother is the face of the party. When George Orwell wrote the book in 1948, he had the idea of a mix of like Stalin and Hitler in his mind as like this authoritarian figure in his head. So it's a wonderful book. And the most popular line from the book, which you will see, online in memes, many places, is Big Brother is watching you. Now today, as I'm making this video, it can be argued that Big Brother is watching us, and that Big Brother, depending who you ask, could be Facebook, it could be Google. I mean, this GPS on my phone, somebody knows where I am right now. If they wanted to find me, they could find me. All right, if they know my IP address and all that stuff. So we kind of live in a Big Brother society in some ways already, all right? I'm not a conspiracy theorist in any way, shape, or form, but it's interesting to think about. Next, the thought police. So in 1984, the thought police are a government task force or a government agency which monitors the public to ensure ideological purity. Now, ideological purity means like pure thoughts or 100% thinking like the party, or thinking how the political party, how Big Brother's party wants you to think, okay? So to ensure ideological purity and loyalty to the party. The party is Big Brother, it's the thought police, it's everyone who is in power. Now today, you could use thought police. You might see thought police in a lot of blogs. You might hear someone say like, hey, you can't tell me what to say. Are you the thought police? So there are, you can talk about issues of political correctness, whether we should be allowed to say certain things, whether we shouldn't be allowed to say certain things, how much freedom of speech is too much. Is there such a thing as too much freedom of speech? Should some speech be restricted? This book kind of opens the door to that discussion, and the thought police are a big part of that. Next. So one of the concepts that George Orwell invented in the book, this is a word he created, is doublethink. Now, doublethink means that you can simultaneously, which means at the same time, you can hold two contradictory beliefs, and you can accept both as correct, okay? So war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. This is the motto of the party in 1984, right? So the party, Oceania, is always at war with one nation or another, either Eurasia or East Asia in the book. And like, war is peace, right? They're constantly in a state of war, and they think that, yeah, we need war for peace. We need to be in war to have peace. Freedom is slavery. Don't have too much freedom. Freedom is bad. Freedom makes you a slave. Slavery and freedom are opposites. You cannot say freedom is slavery. That's doublethink in Orwell's world, okay? Ignorance is strength. Ignorance is not knowing something. How can you have more power when, if you're ignorant of something? Really, the correct thing to say here is knowledge is power, right? That's not doublethink, that's a truth. Finally, we have Newsspeak. So Newsspeak in 1984 is a type of language that is used in the newspapers, but also is supposed to be used by the citizens of Oceania. So it is using ambiguous and confusing language with restricted grammar and vocabulary. Vocab is short for vocabulary, to diminish the range of thought. To diminish means to make smaller the range of thought. So you can no longer say words like great or beautiful or wonderful. Things are really restricted so that your range of thought, instead of being like this, is only like this. Language is very important in 1984 in the world. Language helps us shape our reality. So if you can no longer use a word like wonderful, and everything is a variation of good or plus good or double plus good, which are words that are used in 1984 and which are written in the newspapers. Like, it was a double plus good day, or whatever it was that they said in the newspaper. So imagine that you lose words that have texture, that have an extra spice to them, like beauty, like sensational. Okay, so there are words that, language is wonderful. It helps shape everything. And if you use Newsspeak, you are restricting the amount of language you can use, which in turn restricts your thought. This stuff is all cool. Doing this lesson has really brought me back to what a wonderful, amazing book 1984 was and still is. So once again, I'm going to highly recommend that you click on that Audible link right now, get your free audiobook from them, whether it's 1984 or another book that you're interested in, and let me know what you pick up, or if you pick up anything. As always, if you want to test your understanding of Big Brother, the Thought Police, Newsspeak, Doublethink, etc., you can check out the quiz on engVid.com. And if you're on YouTube and this is your first video that you've ever seen from me, or maybe it's not your first, but you haven't subscribed yet, do that now. Click that subscribe button, turn on notifications, like the video, share the video, comment on the video, and I usually respond, so if you comment, I'll probably give you a heart to let you know, thank you, I saw your comment, or I might even respond. And you know, you'll see lots of comments from me in most of my videos anyway. So, till next time, thanks for clicking. Big Brother's watching you.